Do you guys want to know the best weapon scaling for all classes inside of Elden Ring Nightreign so you can stop sucking more than a bloody $2 hooker? Well, if you've answered yes, you've clicked on the right video, my friend, because we are going to be covering all of the best attribute scalings for all classes and more in today's video. Now, the game does do a pretty good job at giving you the correct scaling weapons when you do get those boss rewards, but I think knowing what stat your character is scaling with is going to help you massively in building your character out and making Elden Ring Nightreign a complete friggin' cakewalk. So there is a cheat sheet that some kind person on Reddit shared, so I will leave that said cheat sheet link down in the comment section below to hopefully save you guys some time so you don't have to listen to me for like 5+ minutes. Screenshot that bad boy and get ready to go from zero to friggin' hero, baby. So first, the cheat sheet does give you a detailed overlook of all the class abilities. This is going to be very handy to hopefully save you time so you don't have to keep switching classes to remember what their abilities are and what they do. But if you focus your eyes to the bottom of each of those class sections, you'll see the most important bit of information, the class scaling. Now, first class scaling that we're going to be going over is WYLDER. WYLDER does have quite high HP. He does scale predominantly in strength with an A scaling in strength, but he also does have a B scaling in dexterity. That cheat sheet isn't going to show you that. This is information coming from F Extra Life. If you are familiar with F Extra Life, I'd probably also pop a link to their page down in the description below. They give you a full look at all the attributes that each class is actually running, but the main one to really focus on with WYLDER is that A scaling in strength. Now for Guardian, Guardian has the highest health pool of all the classes so far in Nightreign, and I also think the Guardian has quite high stamina. On the cheat sheet does show health and stam. Another thing to note there is Guardian's scaling for weapons is strength. Guardian does have a B scaling in strength. Again, this other additional information is coming from F Extra Life. Next up, we have the Duchess, and the Duchess, weirdly enough, has A scaling in intelligence. Not exactly the scaling I thought Duchess was going to have. I thought it would probably be high dex, but it's high intelligence. So I suppose you could use magic and build Duchess out as like a magic character if you wanted to, but the Duchess also has a B scaling in Dex and a B scaling in Faith, and Duchess also comes with a pretty decent mana pool as well. Duchess might have A scaling in Intelligence, but at least it still has that B scaling in Dex, so you can still use the daggers and all those faster Dex weapons, which does fit the Duchess playstyle a hell of a lot more. Now next up we have the Recluse class, the aka the Sorcerer Mage class, and the scaling for this character is S for intelligence. Bet you didn't see that one coming, but also S with faith. I didn't think that. I didn't see that one coming with Recluse, but Recluse does have the S scaling in faith as well. So don't sleep on those incantations, because Recluse can make them viable with that S scaling in faith and also the S scaling intelligence, which is absolutely fantastic, given that it is the mage sorcerer class. Now the next class scaling that we're going to be going over is IRONEYE. Now IRONEYE is the ranger class, and his scaling is A in dexterity, which is I think given for a ranger, but also B in arcane. So what does that arcane scaling mean for ranger? All the bleed, all the poison, all the rot, all the sleep is going to scale much better. Those damage types are going to scale much better with ranger because it has the scaling with arcane. So that's really good. I just thought ranger was just scaling off dex. The fact that it's scaling off dex and arcane, that does open a lot of different build potential that you can have with ranger. So next up we have the raider, and the raider, to no surprise at all, has S scaling in strength. It's the big Unga Bunga boy. Makes sense that its scaling is S for strength. And the raider also has high health and high stamina. I think the raider has the second highest health pool out of all the classes in the entire game. Guardian, aka the big chicken, has 280, and then raider has 260. So there's really not too much different between them. They both are definitely the tank classes for Nightreign. And now moving on to arguably one of the most played characters in all of Nightreign, the Executor. And I know that because I'm contributing to the problem. I am also an Executor enjoyer. So what does the Executor scale off? Well, the Executor has S scaling in Dex and S scaling in Arcane. So if you're someone that loves those bleed builds, loves the bleed katanas, the bleed scythes, the twin blades, all that good jazz, Executor is your man. He is going to get the job done. You're going to have really good bleed procs. You're going to be able to apply poison and rot very easily because of that S scaling in arcane. And then the S scaling in dex is going to be fantastic as well, because that's just going to further boost your base damage. So if you're still wondering why everyone's playing Executor, It's basically the Katana Bleed build class of Nightreign, which is probably arguably the most played build in all of Elden Ring. And then last but not least, we have Revenant, which is the summoner spell casting type class. Revenant scaling is S for Faith, and also B for Intelligence, and B for Arcane. Now on that cheat sheet, it's only going to show the S scaling for Faith. This additional information is coming from F Extra Life. So I suppose with the S scaling in Faith and the B scaling in Arcane, Dragon Incantations are probably going to slap very hard with Revenant. I haven't played too much with Revenant yet, but when I do, I'm probably going to try and target farm those Dragon Incantations because I think they're probably going to be very strong with Revenant. Besides the obvious weapon scaling, why is it important to know what attributes your characters scale with? Well, I guess this might be obvious to some as well, but when you're selecting your relics to slot in for whatever character you're running, having relics that match your character's attribute scaling is going to further increase your damage and maybe other things. I'm not 100% sure how much attributes actually affect your character, but I'm 100% sure it increases your base damage, which is always nice. I suppose one of the biggest issues with Nightreign is that the weapons no longer tell you what they scale with. So people with very little Elden Ring knowledge are going to suffer a lot more than people with countless hours clocked into the game. Not that it's really rocket science to figure out, but having to consolidate a website or guide for information that should already be in the game doesn't particularly feel good. Not that this ruins the gameplay experience or anything, but I thought I would mention this since we're talking about weapons and scaling. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I didn't want this video to be too long. Like I said, all the information is going to be down in the description. Just go and check that information out. You don't even have to watch the video. If you're here, you've probably already watched the video, but the links will be down in the description. Just click on that. All the information's there. It's definitely going to help you guys a lot in building out your characters, making sure you're doing the most amount of damage you can, and also having the most utility so you can help your team out if you are playing multiplayer. Or I suppose it even applies for solo. You probably want more survivability and more damage with solo, so you're not fucking stuck in an absolute slog fest. Alright, that's about it for me, you filthy animals. Appreciate all the love and support as always, and until next time, stay safe, peace out.